Hello everyone, a very good morning to all of you students. This is Assistant Professor Ishani Trivedi from LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology, continuing with the session regarding the subject Construction Equipment and Automation. So now students, you know that we have been discussing about the various type of construction equipment, right? We have been done with almost many types of construction equipment till now. We talked about different equipment having different type of purposes, each being its own, having its own individuality, right? So today we are going to talk about the last type of equipment which are important for us to study. So the next today which we have, after we are done with the excavator, we are done with the concrete batching plant, we are done with the road pavement constructing equipment, we are done with the lifting equipment. Now today we are going to talk about the grouting equipment. Now students, if I talk about the material grout, right? You know what is grouting, right? You are already familiar with it. It is one type of a process used for repairing, right? We will be having a slurry, which we are going to call it as a grout. It can be cement slurry, it can be some chemical slurry. It will be basically a repairing material. So how does the grouting work? What is the type of the process which we are talking about? So grouting is generally done for walls, it is done for soil stabilization, it is done for the road pavement construction, repairing work in the pavement. You can carry out the repairing work. You can also carry out the strengthening of the fractured rocks inside the soil, inside the ground. You can carry out the filling of cracks inside the walls in your normal routine structures as well. So what type of equipment is used when we talk about grouting? We know about the material, we know about the various slurry, we know that it is injected with high pressure inside the walls, inside the soil, inside the roads. Holes have to be drilled inside, and with the help of full pressure you have to inject the slurry inside. We know about all these things, right? We know that what is grouting. But now today we are going to talk about the specific type of equipment, the type of machine which we are talking about, which is going to perform the grouting process, right? It is important for us to know that what is the machine actually, what are its basic parts, what is the sequence of its working, and how this type of repairing process is done with the help of the grouting equipment. So it says that injection of a slurry or a liquid, as I said, it can be a cement slurry, it can be repairing material, it can be combination of material, it can be chemicals as well, because we have a process called chemical grouting as well. So it is a slurry or a liquid or of a material, a mixture of a cement which is fed into the soil, or if it is fed into the rock formation, or it can be fed into the walls or in the roads for the repair works. That material is known as grout. Now the grout, afterwards what happens, right? It is in liquid state, it is in proper slurry state. So once the grout is injected inside the whatsoever material, it then hardens on its own. It hardens and ultimately it increases the strength of that particular structural member and decreases the compressibility and permeability, right? Ultimately you are carrying out one type of repairing work. Students, I am flashing you image right in front of you. You can see that a hopper is present where the material will be fed. Then we have an operating pipe, right, which will be drilled inside the wall, inside the soil, and the filling of grout will be done. Then we have engine like small equipment or the part by which pressure will be exerted. With the help of vacuum pressure you are going to force it inside, you are going to inject it inside, right? So now we are going to first talk about the modes of grouting. Meaning, if I talk about grouting, it is not just done in one way. There are many types of grouting equipment available in the market. Many types of methods are used for performing the grouting operation in the market. So based on the modes of grouting, we have the different type of equipment. We are going to study all of them. The first which we have, the mode of grouting, right, is the permeation or penetration. I said already that what comes in our mind that it is a machine, its slurry will be fed inside, then the hole will be drilled into the wall and then it will be injected. So that first method is known as penetration method or permeation method, meaning the grout is allowed to flow freely into the voids, right? Once you have injected the penetrator inside the wall, inside the soil, and then you will allow the grout, you will just release the grout and you will let it flow freely inside the material, and all the voids will be filled up slowly with the help of the slurry material. Second type of grouting which we have is compaction or controlled displacement. In that, the grout remains more or less intact as a mass and exerts pressure on the medium. The name itself explains, here you are not going to let the grout move freely inside. You are not just going to release it, but you are going to keep the grout inside such that it remains as a mass together, and then it is going to also exert the pressure around your surrounding medium. This type of method is followed in the situations where it is required. So that is your compaction or controlled displacement. The third method you have is hydraulic fracturing or uncontrolled displacement, meaning the grout rapidly penetrates into a fractured zone where you are injecting it. Imagine if you have a fractured zone, if you have a wall which is of cracks internally, then the grout is rapidly penetrating inside the voids inside the fractured zone created when the grout pressure is greater than the tensile strength of the soil or the rock. The one which I was talking about, that you are injecting your grout with full pressure. So if you are injecting it with full pressure, it has to be, sometimes it will be controlled manner, otherwise it will be uncontrolled manner. So here, if you are injecting it with full pressure, then if that pressure is more than the tensile strength of your surrounding medium, then that type of performance which is carried out is known as hydraulic fracturing. Now you can see in front of you, this is your conventional grouting machine. The parts, the name of the parts is written in front of you. We have the, let us start with the leftmost. We have the pipe by which the grouting will be injected. Then we have a hopper, it is a stainless steel hopper where the material will be fed. Then we have the drilling machine with the help of which we are going to drill the holes, and then the basic toolkit. This is how your conventional grouting machine appears. Now let us move forward. We are going to talk about the parts, specifically about the grouting machine, right? So the first which we have is, let us have a look at the line diagram, the three-dimensional line diagram which is in front of you, which will be easier for you to understand that what is a grouting machine. So the first, let us start with the leftmost, right? We are going in the sequence from left to right. So the first which we have is the measuring tank. In the diagram it is written as water tank. Either way it is the tank, right? It is your measuring tank or water tank. It is used to control the volume of grout injected. The amount of grout which has to be injected, you cannot just haphazardly keep on putting the grout so that it overflows at some point. That cannot be done. You have to monitor the flow. You have to monitor the volume of the grout which you are injecting. That will be done with the help of the measuring tank or the water tank, where necessary amount of grout will be released. Next we have the mixer. Mixer, you can see the second part you can see in front of you, that is your mixer. It is used to mix the grouting ingredients. Whatever material is used to make up the slurry, mixer is used, right? From the tank, the material will be fed to the mixer. Next you have the agitator. What does the agitator do? To keep the solid particles in suspension until pumped, right? Meaning, if there are any solid particles present inside the grout, which so happens in many cases because it is kind of a repairing material, it can be epoxy material as well. So whatever the solid particles are there should remain in suspension, it should not settle down, right? So for that purpose, until all of the material is pumping out slowly with the help of the pipe, it keeps them in suspension. The process, the work mechanism is done by the agitator. Next you have the pump, by which you can see in front of you as well, to draw out the grout from the agitator to deliver it to the pumping line. Now The pump can be of different types, right? You know that we have plenty of different type of pump available. So the suction will be done with the help of the pump from the agitator, and then it will convert it to the pumping line where the grout has to be injected. Next, you have the control fittings to control the injection rate and pressure. As I said, you have to always monitor the, if you have to monitor the volume, then you also have to monitor that what quantity and at what rate and at what pressure you are injecting the grout. So for that, the remaining part where you can see the manometer, you can see the pressure control valve, you can see the return hose, all together is a mechanism of a pump itself, and these are your control fittings. And the last you have is the piping. You can see the grouting level where it is written grouting level, and that is your last piping by which your grouting will be done. Now moving forward, students, sequence of grouting, right? So let us talk that how the working is done, right? We saw the parts already of the grouting. Now we are going to talk about the sequence of grouting, right? It is generally either followed from bottom to the top. If you are injecting something inside the wall, if you are injecting something inside the soil, then you are going to grout in such a way that you are going to start from the bottom, then at the top. So the sequence will be from bottom to the top. And you can also go it reverse way, you can go from top to bottom as well. Here we are going to discuss about the bottom to top. So first of all, for grouting purpose, a grout hole of 50 to 75 mm diameter is drilled at the full planned depth. Till whatever depth you want to go, up to that, a grout hole of diameter 50 to 75 mm has to be drilled first. Then if you are talking about the rigid soil or hard intact rocks, if you are talking about that, then what is required is a self-expanding packer. It is a material, right? Is placed directly above the lowest zone and the grout is pumped in. If you are talking about hard soil, then you will have to insert a packer inside. Then this procedure is repeated, right, as you are going downwards, right? If you are at the bottommost depth, if you are at the bottommost depth and the packer is inserted inside, forget about packer. First you are dealing with the normal type of soil. Then with the help of that, at the bottommost part, first of all the grout will be injected. Then after it will be lifted upwards and again grout will be injected. Then it will be lifted upwards and grout will be injected. This is your standard procedure. It will be continued up to until you don't reach the leveled surface, right? It has to be also sealed with the help of packing. So this is just explained in terms of technical words. We have this procedure is to be repeated after the packer is raised and fixed to the next zone, right? If you are dealing with a packer, if you are keeping an obstacle in between, so that if you are dealing with the hard soil, then the packer will be lifted, again the grout is released, again the packer will be lifted and the grout is released, which I explained to you right now, and the grout machine is moved successively upwards. Then holes are drilled down to seam the closest surface and grouting is carried out, right? So at bottom holes will be drilled out and the bottom will be sealed completely with the help of grout material. And then once this work is done, you also have to provide subsequent washing from the drilled hole, the another hole which you have dug, and you are sealing it. So here washing has to be done, and this is how your grouting is facilitated in particular zone by fixing packers at top and the bottom, and if not, then you can perform just the simple method of grouting. Now I am showing you the image over here about the jet grouting. We have different types of grouting. We can perform the jet grouting, we can perform the under pressure, high pressure grouting as well. We discussed about the modes of grouting as well. So the sequence, right? The sequence will be different in all types of grouting. Otherwise the equipment is going to remain the same. Only the method of placing will be different. Now we are going to talk about, students, next, plastering machines, right? We are done with the grouting equipment. You just have to deal with the basic explanation and basic concepts only. But now next we are going to talk about the last type of equipment, that is plastering machines. Now in the plastering machine, meaning you know what is plastering process, right students? The finishing work which has to be carried out once the construction of a masonry wall is done. So the covering, the coating which we provide is known as plastering. We have studied about different types of wall finishes already. So now here we are going to talk that you are not going to place the plaster with hand. You are going to place the plaster with the help of the sprayers. So these sprayers which are going to directly put the plaster on the wall surface, and it is going to become a mechanically operated, a machine operated plastering work instead of hand work, which is also very fast. Then this type of machine are known as plastering machines, right? So plaster spraying, in simple terms if you put up, it is known as plaster spraying. It is used to skim a dry wall, right? Meaning you are going to cover, you are going to finish a dry wall more than 5 times faster than using a hand float to apply it. It is obvious thing that when you deal with the finishing work of the walls, it is a large area to be covered, and with the help of hand it takes a lot of time. So if you use the sprayers, if you use the plastering machines, then the work will be done very much fast, 5 times faster than the normal hand plastering work. Most plaster sprayers prefer the organic based pre-mixed material which comes in a plastic bag. It tries to say that if you talk about the plaster of Paris, then that type of plaster cannot be sprayed with the help of the plaster spraying machines, right? Because it has the tendency that once the plaster is sprayed from the machine, once it is spilled out, then it has the tendency to auto clean it. It does not stick inside. That is why you can use the type of the material which does not stick inside. Plaster of Paris is going to stick, right? So you can use only those type of plaster which comes in the form of pre-mix, in ready mix, in ready-made bags, and you can directly use it. And also it has to be made sure that you are using the plaster in moist condition, otherwise it becomes difficult to clean it. Next, we are going to have 3 different types of plastering machines. We have 3 types of plaster sprays existing. This is an emerging technology. It is a part of the automation as well, that you are carrying out the automation in the plastering work. So right now we have 3 different types of plastering machines. The first is the warm dry pump. See, ultimately these are going to be the pumps. With the help of pumping only you are going to spray something on the wall. You also have paint sprays. Paints can also be sprayed with the help of this. So what we have different over here is the types of the pumps. The first is the warm dry pump. It is a name. The image is flashing right in front of you. This is your example of a warm dry pump. You have the small hopper where the material is to be fed, and you have the pipe, right, with the help of which it will be pumped on the surface. So these sprayers have a warm dry pump. It is a type of a pump that pumps the plaster up to a spray gun that has a large nozzle. The nozzle diameter will be 4 to 8 mm that extrudes the plaster into a chamber at the end of the gun. It is just like a gun. Next you have is peristaltic pump. You have peristaltic pump. See, these are just the names of the pump. All of these have the same mechanism, same working. It is no different. You have to remember the names over here. Theories are important. So we have peristaltic pump. We have peristaltic pump. So it has a peristaltic pump which you can see in front of you. I am flashing the image. It is a tube squeezed by rollers. Can you see a roller over here? So the tube sprays the material, sprays the plaster with the help of a rolling tube. This is how it works, which also requires the compressed air to produce a spray. So here, instead of pressure, compressed air will be used to spray the plaster on the surface. You can use this for textured coatings. Nowadays, textured walls are very much popular. So for that this can be used. Next, third type. The third type of plastering equipment is is piston pump. This is the most common type of pump. You know about this type. It is a piston pump. It will be having engine. It will be having a piston inside, and with the help of that operation, pressure will be created, and the gun from the nozzle, the plaster will be sprayed. So a piston pump, newer type of plaster sprayer, have a piston pump which has sufficient pressure to spray smooth surface on the masonry wall. Okay students, you are supposed to remember all of the theories which we studied in today's lecture. It may be a little bit complicated about the plastering machine which we talked about, and so you are supposed to watch this repeatedly so that you will be able to understand, and you can refer to certain things on the internet as well for you to have better understanding. Okay students, we'll meet in the next session. Have a good day. Thank you.